Did you think scripting YouTube videos was going to be easy? Well, I did. I've scripted over 1,000 YouTube videos and eventually generated millions of views for my clients. But my gosh, was it such a grind? I really wish I could have done things smarter to speed up results. So to help make your YouTube script writing journey 10 times easier and make you more money from your videos, here are 40 brutal truths about writing YouTube scripts I wish I'd known a lot sooner. Truth number 1. When viewers leave, they're not leaving because your content is bad. They leave because they see no reason to stay. Maybe your story feels flat, your video has no urgency, or they think they already know what's coming next. And to prevent this, you need tension. Tension is when you introduce uncertainty about what's going to happen next. Like when you say in the business video, I followed my mentor's advice and I lost $100,000 in 3 months. This sentence creates a gap in the viewer's head and is so powerful. But once you create this tension, make sure to not resolve it immediately. Give it time to settle in the viewer's head. So truth number 1 is master tension or lose your viewers. To add tension, ask yourself, what does the viewer miss out when they stop watching right now? Then build that into your script. Truth number 2. Most creators think that the first 10 seconds of their video is about being flashy, but actually the best hooks quietly make you feel wrong. Because when you challenge your viewers' assumptions, you create some kind of a mental mismatch in their brain. This is called cognitive dissonance. And it's like having a mental itch. The viewer feels like they just have to scratch it. This is why when you say, you've been wrong doing this the entire time, it instantly makes the viewer question their current approach. And because we humans hate being wrong more than we love being right, viewers end up wanting to defend their ego. So they watch longer and they can't leave until they know what's missing. And by the time they realize they've been overlooking something, they're already hooked. So truth number 2 is grab attention by challenging the viewer's beliefs. Identify what they're doing day to day that is completely wrong. Then open by suggesting why what they're doing is flawed and incomplete, and then suggest an alternative approach. This completely rewires the viewer's brain. Truth number 3. I'm sure you've heard of the copywriting advice, write to one person. So this is your avatar or your ideal customer profile or your ideal audience profile, whatever you want to call it, it's the exact same thing. Because your audience, while you do have one avatar, have different personality types. Some of them are data-driven, others are more skeptical, some just need stories, and some need some emotion behind what you're actually saying for them to really believe you. And that's why I use the DISC framework to break down my audience. The DISC framework splits people into 4 core personality types and what kind of proof each one needs to trust you and your videos. That's why truth number 3 is to appeal to all personality types. Add evidence into your scripts that appeals to number 1, analytical people, number 2, stories and social proof to appeal to influential people, case studies for more process-oriented people, and hard data and credible sources for your conscientious folks within your audience. When you layer all 4 types of evidence in your script, that's when what you say becomes undeniable. Truth number 4. Your viewers fear being left behind more than they desire getting ahead. So when writing your scripts, tap into the fear of your viewer staying stuck. This motivates them way more than telling them the benefits of taking the action. So instead of saying, oh, you will grow your first 1,000 subscribers, you can be like, hey, imagine staying stuck at 0 subscribers, being stuck at 10 views a video for months and months and months on end. You can see over here, 1,000 subscribers, while it's the dream outcome for them, staying stuck at 10, 20, 30 views per video feels a lot more heavy. That's why truth number 4 is show your audience the cost of staying stuck. Throughout your script, highlight what happens to those who don't implement your advice, but not in a fear-mongering way. Show the growing gap between the ones who move fast and apply versus the ones who hesitate and don't make any changes. Truth number 5, viral scripts make viewers feel something, not just learn something. When viewers feel surprised, validated, inspired, or challenged by your content, they engage more deeply and share more frequently because your viewers remember how you made them feel long after they forgot what you just taught them. In return, the algorithm shows your content to more people because it rewards engagement and viewer satisfaction. So truth 5 is that emotion drives virality, not just information. So before you even write your scripts, I want you to sit down and reverse engineer how you want your viewer to feel by the time they watch the end of your video. So is it excited? Is it motivated? Is it scared because you're doing a horror movie? What is the feeling that you want the viewer to have? And then you can create the script around that. Truth number 6, when you write the script first, then try to force a hook and title around it, your script will feel unnatural. It's like building the roof of your house first and trying to figure out the foundation later. I learned this the hard way after writing dozens of scripts first and then trying to figure out a title right before uploading. And every time I did it in that order, the video flopped because sometimes there's just no good way to package the idea and the script shouldn't even exist in the first place. So to prevent you from wasting hours writing a script that you can't even publish, truth number 6 is to write a title and thumbnail first, because your title and thumbnail sets viewer expectations. And we start from there, it's easier to figure out what the viewer can expect after clicking. And then you can write your entire script as to answer the questions that the title and thumbnail sets. That way each line will build on the momentum of the last and your script will actually fulfill the packaging of your video. Truth number 7. Think about your last Netflix TV show you watched. You kept clicking next episode because each one ended right when things got interesting. The show didn't tell you what happened next. It made you crave and want to know. And the same concept applies to open loops within your scripts. Once again, when you create an open loop, don't fully explain. When you say, I lost $10,000, create that gap and don't fully explain that, because that gap is what keeps viewers glued to their screen. And open loops is honestly one of my favorite techniques in order to keep viewer retention. Mr. Beast uses it, Eric uses it, and all your favorite educational channel uses it, documentary channels use it. Use your open loops. Learn how to write open loops. And that's why truth number 7 is to use open loops to pull viewers forward. Replace your existing transitions. So now let's move on to the next point with an open loop to make your next point seem a lot more important than the last, or to make the next story beat feel a lot more important than the last. Open loops are king. Truth number 8. You could write the best script ever, the perfect transitions, killer insights, but none of them would matter if the viewers zone out halfway and click away. Every 30 seconds, you need to reset the viewer's attention using a bold statement, a tonal shift, or a pattern interrupt that snaps the viewer's focus back to you. Think of it like this. When you're driving and you start zoning out, what brings you back? A sharp turn, a horn, something unexpected. The same thing happens with viewers. Their brains drift naturally and your job is to yank them back. You can see in the 3rd second of every single Mr. Beast video, some visual shifts change to rehook the viewer back into the rest of your video. And that's why truth number 8 is to snap your viewers' attention back every 30 seconds or so. Because these micro resets are what keeps viewers engaged and makes the viewer feel like the video is moving and that something important could drop at any moment. Truth number 9. The most effective YouTube scripts don't just have words on them. They include visual direction. This is called storyboarding, where you add notes for your editors, like where to zoom, what B-roll to use, what clips to play, etc. Because when you have your script and your visuals accompanying each other, they start to work together instead of the scriptwriter and the editor fighting each other. When you give direction for the editor to zoom in here, play this clip here at timestamp 2:14, or use this kind of music, this will save hours in editing revisions because the editor can see what the vision of your video is. So truth number 9 is that storyboarding cuts down editing time, even though it's tedious. With a script that's annotated, your script no longer is just words on paper for the editor to follow. Now it's a complete blueprint as to how to edit the video. And once again, it makes your editor's job 100 times easier and faster. Truth number 10. If you're not using AI to write scripts, you're working 4 times harder for the same or worse result. That's just facts. Script writing used to take me 8 hours per script, and now it takes 2 because there are tools like AI right now. And that's why I've recently become a co-founder of my favorite AI YouTube scriptwriting tool called Subscriber AI. Subscriber AI is trained on 60,000 plus of the most viral YouTube videos, so it understands what actually makes YouTube videos viral. And instead of me giving you my personal scriptwriting prompts and letting you one by one prompt it into ChatGPT or Claude, instead what I've done is I've taken my brain and all of my knowledge on YouTube scriptwriting, my frameworks and templates, and I've put them all, templatized them into Subscriber AI so that you can use them in the click of one button. Click the link in the description for a special offer to use Subscriber AI today. So that's why truth number 10 is to use AI or get left behind. Because we all know that the future of YouTube is AI. So might as well get in now, get familiar with the tools, and get ahead of your competition. Truth number 11. Videos with high watch time are 2.5 times more likely to appear in YouTube's suggested videos. And one way to increase your watch time is through a masterful use of transitions. And transitions are bridges between ideas that makes one idea feel more important than the last. And without them, your script feels choppy and viewers have clear exit points because they don't know what's going to happen next. That's why truth number 11 is to master transitions and you'll master retention. Transitions are king and they make your video feel all the more natural. Truth number 12. When you confirm what your viewers are already thinking deep down, they feel a surge of superiority. Plus, they feel an emotional bond with the person who validates what they were thinking all along. The best leaders use this. cults use this, master scriptwriters use this tool. So if I tell you that all of the YouTube growth advice out there feels broken, if you, the viewer, actually think the same, you will secretly feel seen. They'll think, oh yeah, this guy gets me, he understands my problems. And then you're more likely to lean in and actually listen to what I'm saying. So that's why truth number 12 is to confirm your viewers' suspicions. Throughout your script, you want to validate what the viewers are already thinking, but they're not willing to say out loud. Because when viewers hear the unspoken thoughts come out from your mouth, something immediately clicks in their brain. And this works for faceless or personal brand channels, both. So truth number 13, the only way and the best way to get better at writing YouTube scripts is through writing volume. When I first started my YouTube script writing journey, I wrote 400 scripts in 5 months. 400 scripts in 5 months. That's however many scripts in a single day. If you're actually very intentional about, hey, I want to get good at YouTube scripts, and you put in the volume, it will be impossible for you to get better at YouTube scripts. So that's why truth number 13 is volume negates luck. This is true for posting YouTube videos. This is true for writing YouTube scripts. Spend more time writing YouTube scripts, and I guarantee you, you will be better in no time. Truth number 14. A quote by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry says, perfection is achieved not when there's nothing more to add, but when there's nothing left to take away. That's a principle that I apply to every single YouTube script that I write. The key when you're editing a script is to be ruthless. If a word doesn't add value, it's gone. If this short sentence doesn't add anything to the narrative, doesn't add any tempo to the actual script, I will remove it. Because the truth is, short scripts with a high value per minute beat long scripts that are stuffed with just fluff and nothingness. So truth number 14 is cut the fluff. Read every sentence and ask, if I remove it, does my script lose quality or value? If not, hit delete. Truth number 15. Vague claims make viewers doubt you, but specific information makes your viewer lean in. This is because precision gives the impression that you're sharing facts. Numbers create credibility when you show that you're tracking results, not just making assumptions. It's exactly what mothers do to determine whether you're lying or not. They will see if you're being specific, or if you're being vague, or if you're darting your eyes. You want to be as specific as possible because that makes you a ton more convincing. That's why truth number 15 is that specificity is persuasive. So don't just say, I increased the number of leads by 34%, right? If you increase your leads from 1 to 1.34, if that's even possible, that isn't convincing at all. But if you can say, I generated 10,000 more leads in the past 12 months because I changed one strategy, that's a lot more convincing just by a simple change in the words that you use. Truth number 16, being perfect feels fake. If you openly share about your failures and what you've learned, you'll become 10,000 times more relatable. People on YouTube don't follow you because you have the best information out there. Once again, they follow you because you evoke an emotion out of them. And one of the emotions that you can evoke out of the viewer is, oh, this guy is just like me. Because people learn from people who are one step ahead of them. And you sharing your real failures makes people relate to you and see you as more of an expert. Because when you share your failures, your mistakes becomes your viewers' shortcuts. So truth number 16 is that vulnerability builds trust. You want to look at the story that you're telling, what failure that you can share within that, and how you can use that specific failure to turn into a story that can illustrate a certain point that you want your viewer to understand. Don't just share your failures for the sake of being vulnerable. Share your failures so that the viewer can learn from you. Once again, that positions you as relatable and an expert at the same time, despite sharing your failures. Truth number 17. Recall the last time that you made someone feel super good about themselves. You might not be able to tell exactly how they did it, but I can tell you how they didn't do it. They didn't do it by shining a spotlight on themselves. They didn't do it by making themselves out to be the hero of the story. When you make yourself the hero of the story, viewers become passive observers of your journey. But when you make your viewers the hero, they become active participants in their own transformation. That's why empowering the viewer and putting them in the driver's seat is the way to go with your YouTube content. So truth number 17 is that you're the guide, not the hero. When you talk as the guide, it empowers your viewers to take action. That's really when you build a community. But when you talk like you're the hero, you may impress your viewers, but you create distance between them and it makes you a heck ton more unrelatable. Truth number 18, your script is only as good as its weakest link. Think of your script as a chain. The first sentence or section gets them to watch the second sentence gets them to watch the third, and the third gets them to watch the fourth, so on and so forth. If any idea or payoff within your script isn't super interesting to the viewer, it won't get them to watch the next. So if your minute 5 is boring, it doesn't matter how good your minute 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is. If If minute 5 is boring, you will lose retention over there and your video will just go to shit. That's why truth number 18 is every payoff must advance the narrative. When outlining your main points, put them through this test. For every minute of your video, ask yourself, does this create curiosity and make me want to find out what's next? If the answer is no, delete it. Truth number 19. As scriptwriters, one of our greater superpowers is explaining complex ideas clearly, but in a way that actually sticks. And one of the best ways to do that is through contrast, because our brains are wired to notice differences. So when you show opposites, your message lands faster and deeper. So truth number 19 is contrast makes your ideas stick. Create contrast in the viewer's mind, and then they can immediately imagine the extremes in both their heads, and they'll understand exactly what you're trying to say a lot easier. Truth number 20. When viewers can see themselves succeeding, they become emotionally invested in making that vision real. This is called future pacing because you're showing them a piece of their possible future. The clearer the picture that you paint in their heads, the stronger their motivation becomes to take action. That's why truth number 20 is to use future pacing to make your viewers emotionally invested. You want to show your viewers what their life is like after they've mastered what you've taught them. So for example, if I'm teaching you how to grow a YouTube channel, right? I want to really paint a vision for you that it's a lot easier for you to record videos once you've mastered YouTube scriptwriting, because all you have to do is sit down, put on a teleprompter, put on your mic, and then there you go. You just have to record your video like that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Truth number 21. Human brains work in patterns. When you show something amazing to the viewer, then something even better after that, viewers subconsciously expect a pattern of increasing value. So they believe point 3 will be even better than point 2, which is even better than point 1. And this keeps them watching. So truth number 21 is to use your second best payoff as the first point and put your best as the second, because this immediately increases perceived value of your video from the very first point that you're talking about. So when you outline your script next, look at what are the most interesting points and then put the second most interesting point as the first point. But the caveat is the first point that you give must also be strong enough, and then the point that you give after must be even stronger. Truth number 22. You know how other people know that you are a real expert at what you do? It's when you can explain the topic without using complex words. The more you understand something, the simpler you can explain it. When you barely know your topic, you hide behind jargon and fancy terms. And really, that's a dead giveaway that you don't actually know what you're talking about. I've spent hundreds of hours researching a single script. I'll look at research papers, I'll watch other YouTube videos, I'll look at articles on YouTube scriptwriting, but I would never include any of the jargon within these research papers because the jargon within the research papers will just overcomplicate it for you, my viewers. So that's why truth number 22 is to research like crazy and then hide it. You want to take 90% of your research and distill the most important parts into the 10% that you'll actually show in your video. Take the research and then write it like you're explaining it to a 10-year-old. Your depth will still show, but you're making your depth accessible to everyone. And really, that's how the top creators make their videos just feel so effortless, yet you can see that they put their heart and soul into it. Truth number 23. Videos that try to do everything end up doing nothing well. When you try to cover multiple topics, viewers get confused about what you're supposed to apply. So the viewers end up learning nothing, or they watch and then they go out and make the same mistakes. So truth number 23 is to focus on one big idea. Pick one clear topic and go deep. A video on how to write hooks that goes a lot more in depth is better than a general how to write scripts video that you maybe go over each point for a minute. That way, you know, when your viewer watches from start to finish, they will have their problem completely solved, or they will be thoroughly entertained if you're running a storytelling or entertainment channel. Truth number 24. You can spend 20 hours perfecting your script body, nailing every transition, layering every evidence, and making every payoff land. But none of it matters if your hook sucks, because viewers decide to stay in the first 30 seconds. If they click away before minute 1, they will never see the rest of your content. All of your work will be wasted and your video will just be buried in the algorithm, even though it's just gems on gems on gems of content, just because you were too lazy to work on the first 30 seconds. A weak hook will kill your video. That's why truth number 24 is if your hook fails, your script fails. So stop spending 90% of your time on the body. Flip it, really spend serious time on the first 30 seconds. Write 5 different hook variations. Test different angles. Make the opening so strong, it feels like it's impossible for the viewer to click off. Truth number 25. As human beings, we are wired for survival. We're designed to pay attention to what could go wrong so that we can avoid it and warn the rest of our tribe about it. This is why we can't help but be drawn to content that validates our hidden fears, doubts, and anxieties, like all of this controversial content about AI or anything politics-wise. That's why truth number 25 is to validate your viewers' secret anxieties. This makes the viewers, number one, feel seen and also feel grateful for you because you are warning them of exactly what's on the back of their minds. Truth number 26. When your teaching suddenly stops and selling starts, viewers feel it. They put their guard up. But when you blend them together, your viewers stay open. That's why your call to action should feel like the logical next step towards their goal. So that's why truth number 26 is to connect your call to action at the end of the video to their motivations. So for example, if you have a video on how to write hooks and the viewers just watch it from start to finish, instead of doing a call to action to them to buy your course or whatever, what you would do is do a call to action to another video on your channel that talks about, let's say, open loops and transitions. So that way that they can improve their retention after they've improved their retention in the first 30 seconds. So you can see over here, it's much more of a natural next step for them. And that way you can also increase their watch time and their session time on your channel. And YouTube really favors that. Truth number 27. When you address objections before your viewers think about them, they think that you're reading their mind. They think, wow, this person really gets me. And trust goes way up. That's why truth number 27 is the best way to handle objections as to why the viewer should continue watching is to prevent them in the first place. List every reason that your viewer might doubt what you're saying. So if you're like me and you're giving advice on how to write YouTube scripts, immediately the first doubt will be, hey, how many scripts did this guy write? So I'm gonna tell you, I wrote 1,073 scripts, and that removes all doubts from the viewer's mind and makes you much more credible and willing to listen. Truth number 28. You know those moments when you wanna explain something complex, but somehow you just can't find the right words and flow? My go-to solution for explaining complex concepts is to use metaphors or examples that viewers already understand, because metaphors transform abstract concepts into concrete images in the viewer's head. When you do an analogy or metaphor that the viewer can relate to and it's something that they understand, instantly they feel like they relate to it, and this can click something in their brain because you're explaining it in a way that they've never been explained to before. So for example, if you don't understand the idea of hooks, right? Let's say you're completely new to social media and I tell you that videos with hooks are shops with no front door. People see them, but can't get in. So the metaphor makes this abstract concept of a hook concrete and visual in the viewer's mind. And with the right metaphor, it will click an aha moment in the viewer's head, which substantially increases viewer satisfaction. So truth number 28 is that metaphors are your best friend. For any complex concept that you're trying to explain, ask yourself, what is a metaphor that the viewer can relate to? And if you can't think of these metaphors or you're not very good at it, ChatGPT or AI is your friend. Truth number 29. Viewers are instant gratification addicts. You're instant gratification addicts. That's why traditional storytelling bores them, because they don't want to wait 10 minutes for one big payoff. They want mini wins throughout the video. And without constant payoffs, they feel like they're wasting their time. So that's why truth number 29 is to give constant payoffs throughout your script. Structure your script like a series of small problem solution cycles. Present a challenge, then solve it quickly. Then immediately introduce another challenge. And this creates a rhythm and cycle of constant value. Kind of like this script, right? We've gone through 30 different truths, problem solution, problem solution, problem solution. I'm showing you how to do this in real time with this very video. Truth number 30, dumping all your credentials in the intro feels like bragging, but sprinkling them throughout your script creates compound authority. Your credentials packs a punch way more when they're shared as part of a bigger story or context, because that way it's a lot more subtle. It doesn't feel like you're bragging. You're kind of just mentioning the story, and it's kind of an offhand thing that's just, hey, I hung out with this guy that was super influential. No big deal. It silently creates social proof in the viewer's head without them even noticing. So that's why truth number 30 is to sprinkle your proof throughout your script. You can use social proof, results, student success stories, and testimonials for these. But of course, don't include too many. And when you do include them, you want to subtly include them so that you can build authority that way. Truth number 31. Some sentences look good on paper, but reading them out loud reveals where they could be falling short. You can't spot awkward phrasing by reading silently because your brain just auto-corrects it. But when you read a script out loud, you can see the clunky transition, every tongue twister, every unnatural sentence, they scream at you. Recording a test read shows you what silent reading can't. You hear where you stumble, you see where your energy drops, you catch sentences that look good on paper, but feel weird to say out loud. And really, this 20-minute step saves you hours later. So that's why truth number 21 is to test read before filming your script. After writing your script, record yourself reading it on Loom or your phone, then play it back so you can see where you stumble and where it feels awkward. And you can just edit that out. Truth number 32. Most scripts just make random claims. They say things like, hooks are important or you need consistency. But viewers have heard this a million times. Without proof, you sound just like every other creator out there. So providing evidence for every point makes it undeniable. And I call this layering. So that's why truth number 32 is to layer your script with different types of evidence, or you'll sound like everyone else. And that means stacking multiple pieces of evidence for every major point that you're talking about. So for example, in your video, you can cite evidence from a research paper, you can cite evidence from a book, you can cite evidence from a creator. Any source of credibility that you can take from, add that into your video, and that makes your point way more compelling. Truth number 33. Most videos silently announce the ending of their video to their audience without even realizing, which makes the audience click off and then lose retention towards the end of the video. So saying something like, these are the top 5 tips on how to get rich, and that's the end of the video, is straight up telling the viewer that the video is about to end and telling the viewer, hey, click off, please. That's why truth number 33 is to always end your videos abruptly. You want your viewers to feel like, hey, like why did the video just suddenly end? And that way it maximizes your retention. And you can see this, Mr. Beast does this in every single video. Truth number 34, editing your own script is so hard because it's too easy to miss your own mistake. Your brain fills in the gaps, you miss logical breaks, and you don't notice any repetition that you make. This is why even great writers have blind spots. That's why truth number 34 is that if you want to get good at script writing, ask friends to review your scripts. So this could be family, friends, any other fellow scriptwriters or YouTubers. Getting a second eye on your script is probably one of the most valuable things that you can do as a creator to up your game. So if you don't have any friends, like some of you do, you can use our trusty AI, ask it, hey, where am I repeating any of my content? And then also ask it, hey, can you fact check any of the research that I've done and tell me where I might be going wrong? Truth number 35, viewers don't care about how smart you are. They care about how smart you make them feel. When you use complex language, you're showing off instead of teaching. Simple language serves the viewer, whereas complex language serves your ego. I once saw this quote somewhere that said, it's not stupid if you simplify, you're stupid if you don't simplify. Because that really is the truth. When you simplify your complex content, your content is much more accessible to a wider audience. And really, if you look at all of the top business creators, for example, Alex Hormozi, he took one of the most complex concepts, which is how to grow a business and all of the statistics that come with it, and he packaged that into simple language with business content. He made it stupid simple to understand how to actually make money online. So that's why truth 35 is to simplify more than you think necessary. So here's what I want you to do. Write your script, read your script out loud, and ask yourself, could a 10-year-old understand this? And if not, simplify. Replace any jargon that you have with everyday words. Cut any unnecessary details that misunderstanding it becomes impossible. Truth number 36. Visual mismatch kills trust. Your opening words must match the thumbnail promise just as much as the visuals. If your thumbnail says, I lost $10,000 because of this mistake, but your script opens with, today we're talking about how to grow your money, you broke the promise that your title and thumbnail set, and viewers feel lied to. That's why truth number 36 is to match your opener to your thumbnail or lose trust. So before writing your hook, look at your thumbnail and ask yourself, what's the claim? And then validate that claim. Simple as. Truth 37. Most creators waste hours brainstorming ideas. They stare at blank pages, hoping the inspiration hits. Meanwhile, YouTube as a platform already tells you what's going to go viral. You're just too busy being creative to see it. Look, ideas already exist. You don't have to come up with new ideas. Your job is to figure out what people are searching for, what videos people actually want, and then serve it to them in a way that is authentic to yourself. That's why truth number 37 is don't brainstorm ideas, steal with style. Sort the top creators' videos by most popular. Look for patterns, look for what got the most views, then study them to find out why they did. Check the comments for what people are begging for, what kind of content they're begging for, or what kind of content they are confused by. Have a look at that, and that already signals what kind of content that you should make. Super easy that way. And this principle is the same for your title and thumbnail, or if you're looking at hooks, look at what winning hooks and what formats are already working and just steal them and apply them for your niche. But of course, everything has a caveat. Don't steal anything word for word. You want to twist it and yoink it for yourself to make it authentic to yourself. Truth number 38. So everyone asks me, what is my secret to getting good at YouTube and getting good at script writing? So previously I told you I wrote a ton of scripts in just a few months. Number one, putting in volume is a huge hack to get good at any skill. But really, with YouTube especially, this is one of the most competitive sports out there. I believe YouTube to be harder than starting an e-commerce store or starting an Instagram page because of how competitive YouTube is and why everyone wants to become a YouTuber. And the reason it's so competitive is because starting a YouTube channel and growing it is super lucrative. Everyone grew up on YouTube and everyone wants to get a piece of this creator economy pie. That is just the truth of it. And if you really want to be the best, meaning you want to dominate your niche, give the best advice out there, make the most entertaining, faceless, personal brand videos, or whatever kind of videos that you make, if you want to make them the best, you need to be obsessive. That's why truth number 38 is obsession beats talent. No matter how talented you are with your camera, with storytelling, if you don't work hard and you're not obsessed, you're not watching videos, you're not keeping up with the trends, you don't actually care and are passionate about YouTube, your videos are never going to go viral. That's a harsh truth, but that's just how it works. Get obsessed or don't even try. Truth number 39. Everyone wants to feel like they're a part of something exclusive. When you frame information as insider information, which is something that other people don't already know, viewers pay more attention. They feel special, like they're getting access to secrets that aren't widely available. And this taps into our inner desire to be part of the inner circle because we, as humans, are social creatures. We want to be in the know. We want to know what others don't. And when you position your content this way, viewers feel like they've discovered something valuable before the masses catch on. Blair Warren, who studied persuasion for decades, found that people are more motivated by feeling like insiders than being sold to directly. So that's why truth number 39 is to give your viewers insider access. Frame your teaching as revealing information that's not common knowledge. Let your viewers feel like they're part of a movement, part of something bigger that is about to explode. And your brand will eventually explode. Truth number 40, last but not least. Most creators focus on what viewers want to achieve. A stronger body, more money, a more fulfilling love life. But the truly magnetic creators do something different. They speak to who the viewers want to become. There's a difference between I'll show you how to build a profitable business and successful entrepreneurs think about money differently than 99% of people. The first is a promise on how to do a profitable business, and the second is an identity shift. Really, the most persuasive communicators don't just encourage people's dreams, they help people see themselves completely differently. They give viewers a new identity to step into. And it's no surprise why there are videos with titles how to reinvent yourself, how to reinvent your brand, because that shows a complete identity shift. That shows a way of being shift. And the viewer, once again, feels more empowered to take action once they've watched that kind of video. That's why truth number 40 is to speak to their identity, not just their goals. Throughout your script, use language that reinforces the identity viewers want. Show them who they can become if they follow your advice, and they are 100 times more likely to follow through with what you're actually teaching them.